if you look at the title of the video, you'll see that this is a Mega Chomp analysis. Yeah. He's not great. He is not great. I don't know who at Game Freak looked at Chomp, drew the Mega Chomp up, looked at that thing and thought, oh, you know, with its fucking Edward Scissorhands. Why they dropped his speed, I don't know. I don't know. But whoever did that is a bit of a twat. Because his speed category, for me, fits him into reasonable sort of inconvenience. His, like, sort of base 70 up, like, to about base 90, you know, about, sort of a 70, 80 to 100 base speed is the speed of inconvenience. Because it can outspeed some things, but it can't outspeed all the things you want to outspeed. And therefore, you get kind of wanked over a bit. It gets very frustrating. I was using Hippo again. Like, the first team I tried him in was, it was sort of like, I wanted to give SD a go, but I thought, well, his Mega does have Sand Force. Now, I don't know about you, but Sand Force Chomp with his base 175 attack sounds pretty tasty. I think you'll all agree. Alright. The first match I used, which I didn't record because I was slightly cross, I had Sand up. I didn't have an SD. I don't think I've got SD on this set. I think I have Sandstorm on this set, which sounds like wah. But it couldn't kill a Manaphy with Earthquake. Alright, the Manaphy was at max HP, granted, yeah. But when you have Sand up and base 175 attack with a stab Sand Force boosted Earthquake, I kind of expect it to flatten Manaphy. Just crush it into the ground. So, like, my only other thought was that maybe he's got, like, max defense, max HP, but it's just like, you're a Tail Glow set. What are you doing? So I was, you know, disappointed in that. I was very cross. But it's, I don't know. Garchomp is kind of the random collection of numbers that isn't quite there yet. Again, the speed drives me mad. Because you've kind of got to base everything around his speed, really. That's the problem I have with him. Just, like, the speed of inconvenience is so frustrating. Like, you know, Mega Charizard X sits just on the edge, like, of the speed of inconvenience. It really, it can get a bit frustrating with Zard X, but it's like I say, it's just, Chompy's just, ugh. That and while his coverage is amazing, no one can doubt that Dragon Ground is good coverage. It's also very inconvenient coverage. He is the Pokemon of inconvenience. Like I say, so, first things first, alright, just off the bat, first recommendation, do not bother with Sand Force. Maybe if Sand was perma, then fine, alright? You know, if it's there, then it's there. But do not go out of your way to try and keep Sand there just for Chomp. It doesn't work, it doesn't help. I had Excadrill on this team, the few battles that I used, Excadrill outdid Chomp. In damage as well, I found. I was using a Life Orb Excadrill. It outspeeds tons of more things, because, oh, double speed. And with a Life Orb, I really didn't notice any major change. Even when Sand Force was, you know, was in play. You know, Life Orb Excadrill seemed just as good. Like I say, all they had to do was just, like, if you're gonna lower the speed, just change the Force to Rush. Alright, if you do that, I completely understand, because having like 101 base speed Pokemon with Sand Rush would just be stupid. It would be banned quicker than people could fart. But Force just doesn't quite work. So this is my next team, and this is a team that I actually preferred overall, because Robotnik is Sexy said he was going to use a Xatu Sableye combo to try and counter some of the more piss-annoying things in the metagame at the moment. So I thought, well, I do really just want to have a Rapid Spinner on hand at all times, and since this next thing relies on Sticky Web with Stealth Rocks, I figured I may as well give Sableye a go, and you know what? It completely stole the show. It really just did. Like, this battle is Sableye's battle. Chomp just doesn't feature. And that brings me on to my next problem with Chompy. Another massive thing that I adore about Charizard X is that it doesn't have, like, a times 4 weakness, and it actually has pretty good bulk. I mean, it's a bit iffy. I mean, at one point, I didn't Mega Evolve against a No, I hadn't Mega Evolved, and I switched Charizard into a Darmanitan, and it KO'd me with Flare Blitz, and it wasn't banded. And I was like, what? But other than that, you know, it's got relatively good bulk. It has very few weaknesses, really, and its weaknesses are generally easily countered by a Pharaoh, and Charizard backs Pharaoh up really well. Chomp, on the other hand, is really frustrating, because Ice is fairly common as a coverage move. You'd be hard-pressed to find a team without Ice somewhere. Wisp is all over the place. It's the main defining reason that I like Charizard X. And, you know, Gyarados. You know, Charizard X doesn't get burned, which means it's always, like, it could get paralyzed, yeah, it could get poisoned or toxic, whatever, but ultimately it's always going to be at full power, okay? And with Sableyes and Jellies and Rotoms everywhere in the friggin' Pokebank metagame at the moment, it's really helpful just to have the knowledge that it isn't going to get burned. Chompy, on the other hand, just gets fisted by burn. I mean, this one is an SD set, the one that I'm trying now, purely because I figured, well, with that amount of attack, or if push comes to shove, I can just SD over the burn. So that's something, but I don't know, since it still can't one-shot things. It still has the Ampharos problem. And again, it's still got the speed of inconvenience. And that's like you look at Ampharos and think, right, that is slow as fuck. We know that, fair enough, okay? And you can plan around that, and you can use it differently. But Chompy's speed is just, you think it's going to outspeed some things, some other things it won't outspeed. You know, it's smelly, is what it is. It's very smelly. But there you go. Like I said, this Excadrill is just being trolled hard by Sableye. It's like, oh, you want a Rapid Spin, do you? Pfft, no, you don't. You fuck off. I also tried a Life Orb, Recover, Latias, because bleh. And I tried Gramble. I haven't seen Gramble yet. It's like the only, like, physical attacking fairy type apart from Azumarill, and no one fucking uses. It's like, what is this? Gramble looks like a beast. So I gave Gramble a go, and you know what? I preferred Gramble to fucking Chomp. Gramble seemed bulkier. Okay? Now, I think that is a bulky Chomp set. Yeah, I'm fairly certain it is. I think it's got, like, no attack investment. It's sort of like the Gira mix of bulk. So, like, max speed, sort of a good amount of special defense, a bit of defense, a bit of HP. That's kind of how I build my bulky setup sweepers. But that's another thing. Because its speed gets lower when you Mega Evolve, it's sort of like, do you invest in speed or do you not? Is there a point to it? I don't know. But the main reason I'm doing all this dicking around and trying to find different sets for Chompy is because the second I looked at it, after, looking at Mega Ampharos, or, using Mega Ampharos, was, that is a Rest Hawk wall through and through. And I hate that. I hate the fact that most of these Megas are just Rest Hawkers. I mean, I don't know. Like, you look at that and think, it's the only thing they're going to be able to accomplish. There are a few, like, Mega Lucario here, who is trying to tear me a new hole. By the way, this pissed me off so much. You seriously went Ice Punch as I switch into Chomp. You had no reason to go Ice Punch. Bullet Punch, with fucking adaptability, is stronger. But no, you randomly decide to go Ice Punch on the one turn that I thought I was cool to go into Chomp. Just fuck you. Oh, God. But it's just not great. I mean, the other thing is, your regular Bogo Chomp, you can put a Scarf on. And like I say, Scarf with base 101 speed instantly just becomes like, whoa, okay, this thing's great. It's still got a boatload of power, it's great revenge killer. You could put outrage on it and just smash things till they go away. You could have a banded set. Its speed is just outside the pole of inconvenience. So it's good, but that chomp, you don't get, to put Scarf on it because it's got to have this useless fucking item. So there you go. If you want to use it, you've really got to plan around its speed, because it's going to be a sweeper, it's only going to be a sweeper, and, yeah, it has no recovery, because you can't put lefties on it. That's pissing me off really hard with all of these fucking megas. I mean, for fuck's sake, Gyarados is just way better with lefties. I don't care about the massive base attack. I don't care that it gets Mold Breaker. Does it get Mold Breaker? Is it Mold Breaker it gets? I think it's Mold Breaker it gets. I suppose that's good for Rotom Washes and nothing else. Bleh. Oh well. Like I say, here's Granbull. This is great, alright. It gets Intimidate as well, which is really helpful. And then, I put lefties on it. Gets Fire Punch off. Granbull's like, meh, play rough. Just gonna smash your face in. I really did like Granbull. Like, I remember back when I first started. Oh god, what a horrible time that was. But I remember that one of my favourite sets, or one of my favourite teams, was a specially defensive Granbull. That thing was awesome! Had like Heal Bell and Snarl, it was amazing. I think it had S-Toss, I can't quite remember anymore. That Granbull was sick. Oh man, I need to give that a go again. I really do. Good old specially defensive Granbull. I also thought it got Wish, and it doesn't, I don't think. I don't think it gets Wish. If it got Wish, then I'm like, whoa, okay. Move aside, Sylveon. Gives a shit about you, and I got my Granbull. Anyway, getting off topic. The other thing, my other main problem is, the guy right there has a regular Garchomp. I think he's running Mega Scizor. Also, he has a Mew with Defog. That sucked. I don't like that. I completely forgot about that, and when I saw it, I was like, oh, that's a really good idea. It gets, like, Stealth Rocks and Taunt, Wisp, Recover or Roost, and Defog. Shit, that's really clever. So, that might be worth looking into. Just a bit. Yeah. Because, like I say, Defog's like, oh yeah, Defog's great. Everything that gets it is flying and weak to Stealth Rocks, apart from a couple of things. It's just like, Mew actually makes a reasonable amount of sense. Unless you want to run Empoleon, because Empoleon gets Defog. Yeah. Anyway, Granbull's doing his shit again. He's just like, yeah, you better leave. I'm gonna beat the crap out of you. I have absolutely no idea why he goes into Garchomp there. I do not understand at all. But whatever. He gets a crit and Life Orb kills him. There you go, that's another thing, alright? If you put a Life Orb on Garchomp, alright, what do you get compared to Mega Chomp? Okay. By the way, this is well jammy, Mr. Hydro Pump. But yeah, what do you get? You get not around the same amount of attack. Not perfectly around. I mean, Mega Chomp's still gonna overpower it. But you get the extra 10 base speed! That really, really matters. You have no idea. Like I say, the speed just kicks you in the shin. Whenever you think, oh yeah, it's building up some pace. It's just like, no. I suppose one thing it does have in its favour, it is a little bit more bulky. I mean, you saw with that Lucario when it was Ice Punch. I think because it was at +1 because I went knockoff on it. Because of the burn, it was at -1. So it still, it still took an Ice Punch fairly well. But again, most things, Sableye are going to fuck it over easily. You can't put Lum on it. You can't put Yachi Berry on it. It really is just buggered over by an item. I mean, if you put a Choice Scarf on that jump, I guarantee it would be unbelievable. If it had Sand Rush, I guarantee it'd be unbelievable. But it doesn't get either of those things. No, it gets Sand Force, completely pointless in every single way. You may as well just put SD on it. I don't know. It's just not there. It really just isn't. I don't know, it's kind of the same. I mean, I'm surprised people are using more Wild quite a bit. I mean, I suppose it's got really good coverage and stuff, but that's feckin' slow as well. Like I say, I knew he was going to Wisp me here, so I'm like, right, it's getting SD now. I also, I can play like complete balls throughout these matches. one, I'm not a very good player to begin with, and two, I was watching Bill Bailey's new DVD, and it's brilliant. If any of you watch Bill Bailey, which I doubt you do because most of you are from America, Bill Bailey's great. He's an awesome comedian. Anyway, it's like I say, yeah, he took the bullet punch from Sizzle handily, which is like, cool, but... yeah, here I should have just gone, like, I went EQ, he roosted. Here I really should have just gone Dragon Claw. It was so painfully fucking obvious, and I didn't do it. And I could have gone into Latios, and I would have been fine. But I went EQ like a dum-dum, and then I lose. But there you go. There you go. So I don't know. I mean, the next battle after this is I eventually give in and think, fuck it, I'll try a rest talk set then. And you know what? It's still not especially good. Some guy was running a balloon Aegislash. Fucks it over completely. Alright? Because what have you got to hit it with? Dragon Tail. Oh, what's it gonna do? Oh, is it gonna King Shield? Oh no, it's gonna King Shield. It's just like, I don't know, I preferred Rest Talk Amphi myself. Rest Talk Amphi seems so much fucking better. So much fucking better. I suppose the main thing that Chomp's got in its favour is that I'm fairly certain all of its weaknesses are walled very conveniently by Heatran. Which is something it's got. It's a thing that it can do, fine, but it's just... I don't know, man. I just don't like it that much. There's only... I might give this set... I'm probably going to do another video today. Although, I should have uploaded a Mega Charizard X video earlier, because there's one more set I wanted to try with that, but this video has been made before that one, so, crazy thing, where I'm talking about a video is going to get uploaded before this one. I don't know. But whatever, so there's one more set that I want to try with Chompy, which is a lead-off set, which sounds so fucking pointless in my head. It's just like, oh great, he set up Stealth Rocks. Oh no, what's he gonna do now? Oh, he's probably got a Defog or a Rapid Spinner. He probably doesn't care about Stealth Rocks. He's probably just gonna go into Genesect, Ice Beam you. He's gonna go into anything else, Wisp you, whatever. It's just like, ugh, why waste your Mega on that? But I'll give it a go anyway. I'll give it the benefit of the doubt, and we'll see how far we get with it. But it's just pointless. It is one of the Megas where, you know, your regular one's going to be better. Scarf Chomp outclasses Mega Chomp in every single way. It really does. I mean, that's the thing. It doesn't need more power. Regular, Bogo Chomp has just got more than enough power to do what it needs to do. Like, if you boosted Mega Chomp's speed instead of lowered it, then it's an entirely different beastie. You get an SD up and you've got an extra base 10 speed, then you're going to be fucking things up. But it doesn't. It's slower, and you can't put a scarf on it to compensate, so it's just shit. That's all it is. But I completely misclicked there. I definitely wanted Gastro. I don't know what I was doing there, but it pays off, I guess. Actually, I might not have missed that. It might have been an earlier battle. Oh, I don't know anymore. Oh dear. I mean, the Rest Talk one takes some hits quite well, I suppose, but it's just not very good. And here he makes me look like such a wanker. He really does. Like, I go EQ, predicted the King Shield, and then I go Dragon Tail, and I was like, oh, you whore! You made me look like such a tit! He still takes the +2 Sacred Sword fairly well, and then I missed my Dragon Tail, just like, oh, really? Really? Bullshit. I don't know. It's just not great. It's just not great. It has multitudes of problems. It's just a bastard, alright? It is just a bastard, and this Aegislash just fucks it over. I mean, this is the only battle I had with the set, but... So yeah, that's pretty much what I'll give it. It is another disappointing Mega. It looks fairly cool, although it's just like, how do you make Garchomp look cooler? Give it Blade Hands! Yeah! Like, what? So, that's kind of all they really did to that. And, like, a stomach mouth, which is like, okay, that's a bit weird. Yeah, other than that, I just don't really like it at all. And the other thing is, because because it's in the speed bracket of inconvenience, you can't Trick Room it either. I another thing that I really thought of doing was, hey, let's dump it in Trick Room. It's a bit slower, but, like, it's not slow enough. If it was around base 70, then I'd give it a go, but it's not. It's base 91, and that's not quite slow enough. You know, there are other walls that are going to be slower than it, and then it gets outsped and probably wisped, or killed, or Pharaoh will probably be like, oh, Leech Seed use. It's like, oh, damn ye, speed bracket of inconvenience. But there you go. That's about where I'm at with it. It's just not very good. It's just not very good. Maybe some of you can make it work. Maybe it's like Mega Aero, because I know some people were like, hey, what the fuck are you talking about? Mega Aero isn't shit. You get a Home Claws up and you demolish everything. I'm like, good for you. I didn't do it. Alright, I used Home Claws, it failed to kill most things and died. Go figure. But yeah, just no to Chompy. It is kind of disappointing as well, you know. If it could just get an item on it, alright, if it could just get an item, then instantly you have got this absolutely ballistic, just conqueror of universes with retardedly good attack, stab outrage, stab EQ, Fire Blast for coverage, or Fire Fang if you're into that sort of thing. I think Fire Fang is a completely pointless move, but there you go. And it's just really good, but just because they didn't have the fucking... Ugh. I don't know. Maybe some of you guys give it a go. Maybe it actually is quite a good rest talker and I'm just not giving it enough time to prove itself, but I don't know. I'm just not a big fan of it. It's certainly not terrible. I mean, again, it gets SD and it has ballistic attack and it has really, really, really good bulk. Its HP is awesome. Its defense is very high. It still gets good speed. I'm just a bit down on the speed because you can't compensate for it in any way, shape or form. But it's just something missing. Like a lot of these megas I've just been fairly disappointed by. There's just something missing. I don't know. Bleh. So that's about where I'm at with it. So far, the only two... Yeah, I think it's two that I like is Mega Houndoom and Megazard X. I would say I like Mega Amphi, but I liked one set of Mega Amphi. The rest of Mega Amphi is fucking shit. It is a truly awful Pokemon. It just happens to be a really, really, really good rest talking wall. That's all it gets. But, I don't know. Garchomp's just sort of in the... There's what I'll call it. Like, there just needs to be a sort of... tear. That's what it is. Like, it's not terrible, but it's not great either. I can actually probably see it being UU, to be honest. I mean, unless Sticky Web starts being a hell of a lot more common, and even then, there is so much shit that, like, you know, a lot of balloon crap, like Balloon Charm, Balloon Exca, Dragonite, Weakness Policy Dragonite is really, really, really quite common now. So you got a bunch of shit like that. I completely derped here as well. I was like, oh, Dragonite can take an Ice Shard. It'll be fine. I'm just like, wait, why did I try and roost off a ×4 super effective hit? Well done, brain. Well done. Good to see you still firing on all cylinders there. But there you go. And this battle ends pretty epically, by the way. You'll like the ending. But yeah, like I say, other than that, there's just nothing especially redeeming about it. If it got recovery by some bizarre coincidence, like if Hippowdon could, I don't know, bang a Chomp and then pass Slack off to it, it would be good. But again, it's just like, I prefer Charizard X a lot more. You know, Tough Claws gives it tons of power as well. It can do a mix set quite well, which Chomp could, but not really. Charizard X is just on the border of the speed of inconvenience, so it can outspeed a few more things than Chompy. Charizard X can't get burned. Massive, massive thing right there. And Charizard X can pull off a more convincing wall set because it has Roost, and it gets Wisp, and it gets Dragon Tail as well. And just coverage moves for days. So that's the final verdict. I will be doing another video, and I'll do a couple more battles to see if it's any good at anything else, but I'm not especially convinced. The video that I'm going to do with Mega Charizard X is going to be I'm thinking of making bulky Roost Dragon Dance set to give that a go, because Amy said that when she tried DD set, it was so piddly and fucking awful and glass cannony that it didn't work, so figured I'd give that a go. But, you know, I'm probably just going to upload this one first, because there's not much point talking about a video that I'm going to do when I've already done the video, and then it just becomes sort of videoception, because that's not a tired old piece of wank. So there we go. Like I say, Gastro does pretty good. Gastro is trying his hardest. And then it's Gastro on Genesect. Who's gonna win? Do you want to know who wins? Genesect. Because after 55 fucking turns, he lives on 1%. There you go. I hope you enjoyed. I guess you could try Mega Chomp. You might like it. You might find a team that it fits in well. But for me, no. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed. See you guys in a bit. Peace.